this is Live Talk. I thank you for being patient with us, and I hope that we will enjoy this discussion. So this evening we are talking about preventing stroke, and we are looking at the risk factor and what are some of the action plans that we can take. My father smiled at breakfast, said goodbye, and 20 minutes later he collapsed. This is a common happening, and every 40 seconds someone is getting a stroke worldwide. The good news is that many of these are preventable. So will you take action before it is too late? So what we need, let's first look at what is a stroke. A stroke is a brain attack. What does this mean? What it means is that there is a cut-off of the blood supply to part of the brain. And there are mainly two types of strokes. There is what we call an ischemic stroke or an infarctive stroke. When we have an infarctive stroke, a blood vessel supplying the blood to the brain gets cut off. And this happens because of a clot. The clot can come from the vessel itself, or it can come from a clot that is carried from elsewhere to a blood vessel in the brain. What happens is a normal blood vessel is very open, as you can see there. And then when it is blocked, the vessel is completely closed up and no blood that can pass beyond where the clot has happened. So, and this forms 85% of all the stroke that happen. Then we have hemorrhagic strokes. In hemorrhagic strokes, part of a blood vessel bursts open and there is blood seepage into brain tissue, causing cell death. So once this happens, then brain cells start dying, and this can happen within minutes. So then we have what we call a transient ischemic stroke or a transient ischemic attack. And what this happens is that someone gets a partial blood block to part of the brain. And so what will happen is that the individual will become possibly confused. He may have blurring of vision, he may faint or she may faint, and then after a few seconds the person will regain consciousness. The importance of this transient ischemic attack is that they herald a full-blown stroke. So when you see some of these things happening, someone faints, something loses consciousness for some few minutes, then this is a sign of a stroke that could be on the way. So what is the global situation of stroke? Over 12 million people worldwide experience stroke every year. This is worldwide. And about 6.5 million people will die due to stroke related complications yearly. Then more than 100 million people have experienced a stroke of some kind worldwide as we talk. So stroke is the second cause of death and the leading cause of death and disability combined worldwide. So this is not something that we can take lightly because when these kind of numbers are involved, then we feel threatened. And it is not only that it affects the elderly, it can affect anybody at any age. So if you look at the statistics from the 1990 to 2019, is that there is a 70% increase in the number of new strokes. This is quite significant, 70%. Then there is an increase of 43% of stroke-related deaths. And then there is a 102 increase in the number of people living with stroke. So this is quite a significant number. And there is a 143% increase in the people living with disability related to stroke. So this is a condition that we need to be aware of, and we need to take action immediately. So there is an unequal burden of the distribution of stroke, and it is especially happening in countries of low and middle income countries, whereby we find that 86% of the deaths related to stroke happen in low and middle income countries. And there is 89% of disabilities caused by strokes in countries with low and middle income. So the contributing factors include poor access to healthcare. There is a lack of awareness, and this is one of the purposes of this right presentation, so that we raise their awareness of about stroke. And then there is inadequate preventive measures. When we talk about preventive measures, as we go along, you will see some of the things that you can do, that you can be able to do and prevent yourself from getting a stroke. So as I've said, stroke don't only affect the elderly, and it can affect people of all ages. And over 60% of the strokes happen in individuals under the age of 70. Then 16% of the strokes affect those under the age of 50 years. So lifestyle factors increase the prevalence of risk factors which affect the younger populations. As the lifestyle have changed, you find that younger people are getting hypertension at an early age, and these are the people who are at bigger risk of getting a stroke. And most of course, there are those who have cardiac complications, and these are the people who get clots moving from the heart to the blood vessel, something we call an emboli. So that this is a significant amount of people who are getting affected by strokes at a very early impact, at a very early age. So what is the economic toll of stroke? The estimated global cost of strokes is about $721 billion, accounting for 0.66% of the global GDP. So this is a significant amount of money that we are spending on patients with stroke. It will depend on amount of money spent treating with persons with stroke, amount of time spent in health care facilities, and also loss of productive life. And then someone gets a stroke. These are individuals who are at high risk of getting into long-term care. So why should you get concerned about stroke? We have said that stroke is the second cause of death worldwide after heart attack. Then it is also a leading cause of disability, and it can happen to anyone, and it silently builds up over the years, and so you need to be aware about it. So what are the risk factors of stroke? We divide them into two main groups. There are those things that you can be able to control, and there are things that you cannot be able to control. So what are the things that you can be able to control? One of the things that you can be able to control is high blood pressure. If you have your blood pressure well checked regularly, that one you can be able to take charge. Then you have diabetes, making sure that your blood sugar is checked regularly. High cholesterol, also making sure that your cholesterol is checked on a regular basis. Smoking is a major risk factor for stroke. Then we have obesity and physical inactivity. Then we have heavy alcohol intake. And then there is a poor diet. This is a diet that is low in fruits and vegetables, and also high in salt and fat. So what are the risk factors that you cannot control? Age is one of them. But even with age, it has been shown that if you control the lifestyle factors, you can actually be able to control your rate of aging, increasing up to 14 years in your lifespan because of good lifestyle habits, which you are going to see as we talk, as we move along. Of course, a family history of stroke, if you have you come from a family where people are predisposed to getting strokes, then this is not within your control. Then gender, being male or female, men have a higher risk of getting a stroke than women, but you find that women die more often than from stroke than men. Then at the ethnicity, you find people of black race and the Asians are at higher risk of getting a stroke. So what are the warning signs of a stroke? There's something that we say, be fast, where each of the letters in that present is an acronym for some of the symptoms that you notice immediately, which you should take action when you see it. One, the B stands for balance loss. So a person starts losing balance and she can easily fall or faint. Then there is vision, there is eye trouble. Then there is face, drooping of the face and unequalness in the eyes. There is arm weakness. Then there is difficulty in speech. And then time to call emergency. When you see this, someone is losing a balance, his vision is changing, his face is drooping, his arms are getting weak, his speech is becoming difficult, then you need to call emergency help immediately before he gets a complete stroke. So what are the things that you can be able to prevent, you can be able to do to prevent a stroke? One is having your blood pressure taken. As I always say, there's no way you can ever know your blood pressure. Even myself as a doctor, I cannot sit here and tell you that I can be able to know my blood pressure. The easiest way and the only way that is there is to have your blood pressure taken. And of course, there is the right way to have your blood pressure taken. In one of the videos in my YouTube channel, The Overall Health, I have shown you how to do the blood pressure and what are the prerequisites of being able to interpret your blood pressure. Then monitoring your blood sugar. This you need to do at least every 3 months, have your blood sugar checked. Then you need to check your cholesterol. And this can be done in almost most of the health facilities. And any blood lipid level would be helpful. Initially we used to talk about fasting lipid, but even a spot lipid profile would be helpful to know what is your numbers. So then the other thing is living a healthy lifestyle. What is this healthy lifestyle that we talk about? One is 30 minutes of physical activity. And we usually say of moderate to intense activity every 30 minutes, almost every day of the week. And this will give you a good measure of your energy and also your control of the blood pressure and also control of obesity, control of blood sugar. Then eating diets that are rich in fruits, vegetables and whole grains are very important. And then reduce sugar, reduce salt and also reduce intake of processed meat. Then ensuring that you have adequate sleep. We talk about 7 to 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep. And then the other thing that is very important is being able to manage stress. How do you manage stress? You can do journaling, you can do yoga, you can do mindfulness, you can do breathing exercises. All these things have been shown to be able to help people live longer and stay longer. Not only stay longer and live longer, but live longer without illness. Then stopping smoking. So it is very important that you don't smoke, and if you are smoking, then you need to stop smoking and work very hard. There are programs that can help people to stop smoking, and this will be of paramount importance. Then limit your alcohol intake. I have talked about this on many of my videos. For men, not more than 2 drinks. For ladies, only 1 drink of whichever kind that you enjoy. Then having regular checkups. Having a health provider who works with you throughout this journey would be very important, who should be your coach and guide you in your life journey and in your health journey. As I always say, that health is like a bank account. Every time you eat healthy, you are building your account. Every time that you exercise, you are building your account. Every time you don't exercise, you postpone, then that is a withdraw. If you eat some of the sugary foods and sugary drinks, then that's a withdraw to your account. And that makes it worse if you have more withdrawals than the bankings, than the deposits. And remember that this is a lifelong commitment. It's not something that you do for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, and then you forget about it. It is a lifelong commitment. Healthcare is a lifelong commitment which you have to undertake. And then if you have hypertension, diabetes, or heart issues, you need to have a regular checkup with your health provider, and it should guide you on dietary issues, exercise, and also stress moderation control, so that you don't get surprises. So what are some of the daily habits that you can do on a daily basis to make sure that you prevent yourself from getting a stroke? One is eating healthy diet, which include plenty of green leafy vegetables, including fatty fish, should have berries, and also beets. Then making sure that you hydrate well. What is this hydrating well? If you look at your weight, multiply by 0.03, gives you the amount of water that you should take in a day. And that's how you fear most of the people will tell you 6 to 8 glasses. But the amount of water you take is dependent on your body weight, and also your activities, and also other underlying issues that are surrounding you and what else you are doing. And then prioritizing your sleep, ensuring that on every single night you are trying to sleep between 7 to 8 hours. This will help you to reduce the inflammatory hormones and also reduce the release of the stress hormones, like which stimulate the secretion of insulin, and then insulin makes the inflammatory process triggered. Then managing stress, and you can manage stress with prayer, meditation, walking, breathing exercises, journaling. In some of the videos I've done, again, I have talked about mindfulness and also ways of coping with stress. I have also written a blog on managing stress. You can find the blog in my in the Wellness Health Services website. It will give you some tips on how you can manage stress. So then, for those who have diseases like diabetes, hypertension, abnormal lipids, then being adherent to your medication would be very paramount. And then having regular checkup with your health provider. It is usually easy if, for example, you see a good player always works with a good coach so that he can attain his best. Even you as an individual, for you to attain your best, you need to have a healthcare provider who walks you through the journey of your health and whom you can always consult when you have issues that you need assistance with. So what are some of the things that people or families with elderly people or families with members who have high risk of getting a stroke can do? One is ensuring that they go for regular checkups. Then also regular screening, making sure that you are checking your blood pressure, you are checking your blood sugar, and also you are checking your cholesterol, and ensuring that you are active, and also assisting their family members in diet preparation, and also making sure that they eat healthy. Then be fast to everyone. What that means, you teach fast, be fast, which I've said is loss of balance, eye drooping, facial drooping, then we have arm weakness, and then we have also loss of balance, and also you need to act fast, so that you remember this, that you check the face, you check the loss of balance, you check drooping of the mouth, the loss of speech, and then act fast, because these individuals, they need to get to the hospital within that minutes. Every minute counts, and every minute brain is lost. Then you need to know what are the emergency checkups that you can go to when you have such emergencies. And then adherence to medications, adherence to the right diet, and trying to adhere to a regular exercise program, and also ensuring home safety to avoid falls, to avoid strokes, and also to help individuals who have had a stroke recover fast. So I know of some individuals who have had a stroke. They get to the hospital as fast as they can, and they have been able to live without any disabilities. And even if you get some of the disabilities, when you get to hospital, then you are going to be helped so that the problem does not progress. Once a stroke has happened, a complete one, then there's nothing that can be done, but you can be rehabilitated back so that part of another part of the brain can take the functions of what you have lost to be able to live a normal life. Strokes are disabling, and so we need to take action as much as possible. So awareness plus fast action leads to a life saving. So this is your turn to take action. Schedule a checkup this week if you have not had any. Commit to these small lifestyle changes. You can check on what we have talked about and think about it as an individual. What can you do? If you cannot save another person's life, at least save yourself from a stroke. And then teach 3 people what you have learned. Remember that what is learning? Learning is getting some knowledge, and that knowledge makes you change behavior. That is what we call learning. So if there is anything that you have learned from this, apply something and then teach it to another person, so that together we can be able to fight strokes and be able to stay healthy. Remember that prevention starts with you. One choice today can prevent a lifetime of regret. It can prevent you from living with a disability. If you would want to get a checkup, you can always check with us at Wellness Health Services. We also have a virtual forum where you can always do health consultation online at the comfort of your home. So now you don't have to worry about the travel, you don't have to worry about the waiting time at the doctor's office. You can always get consultation through our virtual forum. You just need to go to the Wellness Health Services website and book virtual consultation, and it will be brought to the comfort of your home. You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide to reduce the effect that they cause on you. This was a quote by someone called Maya Angelou. So don't wait. Prevent a stroke before it prevents your future. Remember, it is the small actions that you take on a daily basis that will give you a lifelong benefit. And living healthy can make you enjoy your life without living with the disability of diseases. So we are talking about living long and living healthy. You don't have to have your life cut short by something that you can be able to prevent. So thank you very much. I hope that through this discussion, you have gotten something that will be able to be your take home. If you want more tips on living healthy, you can always follow us on the Overall Health YouTube channel. You can also follow us on the social media, on TikTok, on YouTube, on Facebook, and also on Instagram, and also in LinkedIn. We also have the Wellness Health Services website, where we have a blog, and I also have a newsletter in LinkedIn, which can give you some tips on living healthy. And we always have these live talks on YouTube every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Be with us, and you always get some tips on how to live healthy. I'm sorry, to the live talks on YouTube on Mondays at 5 p.m. So be able to join us so that you can get more tips. So that is, I'm very grateful that you have joined us and you have followed us. I'm glad to answer any question, also answer to any comments that you may have that you think would be helpful to the rest of the people that you would want to share with your friends and the colleagues, so that together we form a family that is living healthy. So let me look at some of the comments that we have on this live show. So there seems to be no questions. I'm very grateful for those who have joined us on this live talk. If you have any question that you'd want to ask me, or if you have anything that you'd want to share, feel free to share. And also, if you have any question, you feel free to ask. We can always answer the questions and also share your feelings together, and we move on. So thank you very much, and I wish you a healthy living.